This report is presented by Mattress Firm. Tonight, we got San Diego State in San Jose taking on San Jose State. Aztecs are 11.5-point favorites on the road. That game will go going at 7 o'clock with Schaefer on the call. Fletch, you get you on the post game, started at 6. In big upset in the NFL last night, the Falcons take down the Rams 27-24. Stafford has a rough outing with 3 interceptions. His MVP odds have severely dropped to plus 300. This report has been presented by Mattress Firm.
Welcome to the Fletch Zone.
Sound off like you got a pair.
I like other guys.
Where are we going in sports?
Monday night in the ATL.
Jared Verse with the caravan. He takes it back. The 8 strikes and the Rams have life. And here goes Bijan Robinson. 30, 35, 40, midfield. It's a foot race. Robinson 30. 15, 10, 5, house call. Are you serious?
As the NFL playoff picture continues to take shape.
Ball game is over in Atlanta. The Falcons 27 and the Rams 24.
The Aztecs are back on the court tonight to start Mountain West play versus San Jose State. And how do those picks work out?
Kirk Cousins, more than 225.5 pass yards.
You're really good.
Kanata Mupfield, receiver for the LA Rams, more than 23.5 receiving yards.
You just blew my mind.
Jordan Poole for the New Orleans Pelicans, more than 13.5 points.
Jesus Christ on a motorbike.
Why aren't you out playing in the traffic?
We look for relief inside the studios of San Diego Sports 760.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
Those goofy bastards are just about the best thing I've got going in this crazy world.
With a Fletch Zone.
And let's get it going on a Tuesday. What's going on, everybody? Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John and just John will take over then. Wow.
It was an emotional goodbye yesterday. Did I listen to it?
It was an emotional goodbye. Farewell, Jim Russell. We wish you well on all your future endeavors. But it's going to take me a while to get good at saying coming up or right after we get off the air, it's John and just John coming up next every single day. So I got to fix that in my brain. But we'll get it done here in a hurry. Now, last night, Monday Night Football, we'll spend plenty of time on that game because it was the final Monday Night Football game of the season, which is always a sad day. Week 18 coming up next. Got some excellent matchups that we will sure to get into over the next couple of days here. But let's start with last night, and we'll get into the Aztecs basketball game coming up in just a little bit. Last night, Monday Night Football, everybody's talking about today, the catch or no catch from Puka Nacua. Everybody's talking about the bomb down the sideline that could have been and would have been the best catch we've seen the entire NFL season. It was miraculous that Puka Nacua was able to make it look like a catch as much as he was. I thought it was a catch watching it on TV. Not sure what you all thought out there.
Even with it coming off his body?
Initially. Once we got that secondary angle, it was clear there was a little bit of a bobble. But at first glance, I was like, oh my God, that was a catch. And that was the greatest catch we've seen all year long. But then it wasn't. Everybody's talking about that play as the play that could have been. Rewind the tape about 2 or 3 plays earlier. Matthew Stafford, wide open touchdown pass to Smith that he throws over his head. Missed it by about 5 yards. If we're talking about the MVP conversation, Sammy, you had it in your update, the odds dropped dramatically.
The odds, so he opened as a favorite on the night after he threw his first pick six. It went to even money with Drake May. At the end of the night, Drake May is now a minus 400 favorite, and Matthew Stafford is 3-1 underdog all in the span of one game.
Let me tell you, if he makes that throw, if Smith catches that ball and takes it in for a touchdown, Matthew Stafford is your MVP this season. That was the moment, and it's weird that it comes down to something like that, but that was the moment, and Matthew Stafford blew it. Look, you say what you want about the Rams. We have our power rankings coming up in just a little bit. I'll be honest, there's not much of a change in mine. The Rams are still going to be at the top. Because they do have the best roster. I think they're the most likely team to win the Super Bowl.
You have them number one still?
I have them number one still. As of right now, I think it's the best roster. I think last night, backup offensive linemen in, tons of weird penalties on the offensive line, that holding call that brought back a touchdown. Like that's not the same offensive line for the Rams that will be in the postseason. Rams are still going to be my number one team. But if we're talking about the MVP and the MVP solely, which it seems like everybody wants to talk about today, that was the play the MVP was lost. Missing Smith on that route, a touchdown that would have won them the game, completed the comeback. That was the play that we should be talking about today. Instead, everyone's talking about the non-catch by Tua or Puka.
Okay, a lot there. I think the Rams should still be a favorite in odds to win the Super Bowl. They are not my number one team today. that you can't lose on Monday Night Football to the Falcons, and the only reason you were back in that game was a blocked field goal.
Falcons riding a 3-game win streak. They've played good in primetime all year.
I know, but that game should, if he makes the kick to go up 27-10 and they don't block the kick and it gets returned, I mean, it was very fortunate the Rams were even in that game in the first place at the end. A lot there. I'm kind of opposite you on the MVP. I think I was just actually listening to Colin Cowherd and Nick Wright on the way in. I do think the MVP award has been, I thought Nick Wright broke it down well. It's like the first 3 months of the season until December. It's we're basically whittling it down to 3 to 4 guys that could win the MVP. So this year that was Stafford, Drake May, Josh Allen. It was Jonathan Taylor until a point, and then that kind of wore off. And then it feels like who's playing the best December football. And Josh Allen misses the throw on the 2-point conversion, and Stafford has a clunker last night. But it does feel weird that Drake May, and it's not a disrespect to Drake May because Drake May has been fantastic this year, but it's just going to slide into the MVP conversation when, yes, he destroyed the Jets. The Jets are trying to lose as many games as possible. Let's not forget when he lost one of the biggest games of the season against the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen 2 weeks ago. It took him a comeback against the Ravens, who had lost Lamar Jackson in the second quarter of that game, to do it. I know he's not playing Lamar Jackson, but still, like, that was a big loss for them on that team. The offense wasn't clicking the same. It feels odd to me that Stafford dropped this much because of one game coming off last week against maybe the best team in the NFL in the Seattle Seahawks, throwing for 457 yards, something like that. Like it's the MVP award has definitely been who's Mr. December. And I feel like that needs to change.
You're probably right. And it is a popularity contest. And right now Drake May is going to be the hot name because he's the rookie who's come in here. And it's a lot of similar guys around him in New England that he's making it work this year where it didn't work last year. And people love a good storyline like that. And so Drake May will probably win it. Ultimately, I think the MVP award's kind of dumb. Always have. It's a quarterback competition. And we'll see how it shakes out. But I do think Matthew Stafford deserved to fall as far as he did because of missing that throw. He had the opportunity to bail out the Rams. And for Matthew Stafford to miss that throw that we've seen him make a million times in his career, I couldn't believe it. Watching that game, I could not believe it that the Rams let that one slip through. All right, but speaking of the Rams, the first half was ugly. 3 interceptions for Matthew Stafford in the game. A lot of that coming in the first half. The Falcons jump all over him early in that one. Bijan Robinson doing special things. He's a special player, man. That 93-yard touchdown run he had was incredible. But I do look at the Rams offensive line and I'm like, oh, DJ Humphries is 32 years old and he looks like he's 32 years old and he will not be playing in the postseason. That was the biggest reason for the loss last night.
Well, that was, if you're a Rams fan, was the most concerning thing. And I'm still with you. I still think in the postseason they are one of the most complete teams.
I think they were missing both their tackles going into last night's game.
Right.
Who are both expected to be there for the postseason.
But I think what you saw, though, is Atlanta, who's a good pass rush, get internal pressure. Like they had the problem with that, though. The tackles were there. They were getting pressure up the middle. And I get Devontae Adams coming back. The Rams, I think, will be just fine.
He looked like he could have played last night. Didn't you think? They had the sideline shot of him warming up before the game. I was like, he looks fine.
But the one thing about the Rams is now you're going on the road. And right now you're probably going to Philly. And I know Philly has a lot of problems, but still, that is a tough place to play. Then maybe you're going to San Francisco. Maybe you're going to Seattle. Who knows where you're going? We're going to see what happens with your big game on Saturday. But the home field in the NFC feels like a much bigger deal than home field in the AFC, because I don't trust that the teams at the top of the AFC are going to hold off the teams at the bottom of the AFC. Where in the NFC, it just feels so even. It feels like basically any team, minus maybe the Panthers or the Bucks, could really win a Super Bowl and has a case for it. And losing home field advantage for the Rams is a massive deal.
All right, our buddy FedEx Trade jumping in early says, I put it like this: in the NFL, he didn't complete the process of a catch. If it's backyard ball, that's the best catch of the year. Rams don't have the right to complain about PI calls per Saints fans. I don't know. That Puka Nacua thing, man, that was close to being special. You know, they replay the OBJ catch in the end zone for the Giants, the one-handed one where he's falling backwards over and over again every single year. That's what we would have seen from that Puka catch last night.
If that was a catch, that would have had a case.
Dude, it was like 95% it was a catch. And then at the last second, oh man, I do hate it, because even football 20 years ago, that's a catch, right? Like 20 years ago, that's a catch.
And then the most egregious call in NFL history outside of the PI against the Saints, the tuck rule with the Raiders and Pats. For all my Cowboys fans.
The Des Bryant.
That was catch.
That was a catch.
That was catch.
Looks like a catch. It's a catch.
That's still to this day. I'm not a Cowboy fan whatsoever, but that call is one of the worst calls I've ever seen in NFL history.
Didn't the Packers also have a weird one in the back of the end zone? Rodgers thrown. It was in the playoffs.
It was against Seattle.
That sounds right. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, there's been some bad ones. Last night wasn't bad. Like, unfortunately, cameras have gotten too good.
Yeah.
And angles have gotten too good. There's too many angles.
Seattle was the famous, he knocked, was it KJ Watt? Who was it?
It was like two people caught the ball in the end zone at the same time. There's a famous picture of the ref running it at the last second. One of them has the catch signal. One of them has the incomplete signal.
And then he knocked the ball out. It's illegal to just knock the ball out of play. And he went and did it in the back of the end zone. That was, we're going to NFL history lesson early.
I like doing stuff like that. All right. If you want to watch the show, a couple ways for you to do so. Jump in the YouTube chat with our buddy FedEx Trey, who's here on a daily basis. We love you, Trey. At San Diego Sports 760 on YouTube, at Fletch and Sammy on X. You can find us at both those places. Right now, we do something called the Big Three, where Sammy rips through some of the top headlines in the world of sports. Sammy, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
Got a resolution for 2026, Sammy. I want to get Sammy Smash It t-shirts made.
Oh, next year, merch is being made for this show.
Who's going to buy our merch?
I'm going to wear the merch. You're going to wear the merch. Our people. Oh, I thought we had people. Jay Sills was chiming in. He was going to wear our merch. Jay Sills is
bragging about his pick last night, saying the Falcons were going to upset. Congratulations, Jay Sills.
Yeah, Jay Sills hit us up on Twitter. Jay Sills very right on last night. I thought it was going to be a blowout.
I had the Falcons covering. Did you not?
No, I had Falcons covering the first half, and I had Rams winning 35-20.
That's right. All right, Sammy. Where are we going with the Big Three?
Let's go to Aztecs basketball tonight on the road in San Jose State. They're 11.5-point favorites on the road. Obviously, season has not quite been what we've wanted it to be so far, but second game against Mountain West Conference play. What are you looking for to see from the Aztecs tonight? Who do you want to see step up in this one?
I was talking to some of the guys in the sports information department at San Diego State during the New Mexico Bowl game and walking around, just chatting with them at the hotel and stuff. And we were talking about this Aztecs basketball season. And it's funny because I would agree with you, Sammy. The first thing you said, where it's not really been the season you want it to be so far. Take out that Troy loss and it is. Like, seriously, you think about it. The Baylor loss, the Michigan loss, the Arizona loss. All three of those are pretty acceptable, if you ask me. The Baylor one being the least so, but Arizona and Michigan are without a doubt the two best teams in the country. Maybe you wanted to see them keep it closer, sure. But the Baylor loss, you were in it for 3/4 of that game, and then the last 15 minutes, it got away from you. The last 10 minutes, it got away from you. But you think about it, the Troy loss, inexcusable, and that one's going to haunt them forever. And Troy had a really hot 2 or 3 weeks of basketball. Outside of that, they've been pretty bad this year. So that one's going to stick with them. But for tonight, I'm looking for the Big Three to get going a little bit, please. Miles Bird, Reese Dixon Waters, Magoon Guath. They haven't hit a stride in any sense of the word. Now, Magoon and Reese both coming off of massive injuries over last season, and neither of them have looked really good this year. They haven't looked right yet. Miles Bird, we've seen flashes, but we haven't seen him put it all the way together. Once we get into conference play, which we are now, it's time to start seeing those guys really put it together and start making that push. Like, think about with Magoon and Miles specifically, they got NBA aspirations in like 7 or 8 months. Mm-hmm. Now is the time to start this thing going in the right direction so that becomes a reality.
I think that's what, and I hear what you're saying about the Troy game was a disappointment. I think what's disappointing is that the Aztecs program we've known the last 5-10 years has really ascended to being a blue blood program. People talk about Coach Dutcher and the staff and how people want to come to San Diego State. So I think that's why the Michigan performance, the Baylor performance, the Arizona performance the first half was great. It was disappointing how that game ended. It was just, I think you saw why that game was frustrating watching it was the first half. You saw what this team could be, how good a coaching staff is to keep the game close. And to your point about the Big Three, and I'm going to piggyback on that, it's those guys have to be at their top. Reese Dixon Waters, Miles Bird, Magoon Guath, for them to beat competition like that. And it feels like every game this season, either one of them's gone off, all three has really struggled, or 2 of them hasn't been great. Like in Magoon Guath especially, I know he's been coming back from the injury. He has been counted on to be the star of the front court. That like the front court depth probably heading into the season is where you would look at the biggest question mark of this team. And that's really predicated on the fact of Magoon Guath dominating. He hasn't been that yet. Now, we know he has the ability to. That's why so many teams wanted him in the transfer portal. So, it's all about the Mountain West title now. You probably lost an at-large bid. The Aztecs are perfectly capable of winning the Mountain West. They have all the talent to do it, but it starts tonight after a win against Air Force last week. We'll see if they're able to do it.
I'm not positive they've lost an at-large bid, but they're going to have to be pretty damn good here in conference play. I'm thinking like maybe 1 loss at home and maybe 3 losses on the road. By the way, San Jose State, you look at it on the schedule and you're like, oh, that's a win for San Diego State. Pump the brakes a little bit. Last year, I think San Diego State beat them in 2 games by a combined total of like 5 points. The one at Viejas was like a 2-point game. The one on the road was a 3-point game. Now, Latrell Davis was on that team and was smoking the Aztecs. He's not there anymore. He's actually redshirting for the Aztecs. But San Jose State, especially at San Jose State, incredibly dangerous game. And I'm sure we'll hear all about that coming up on maybe the best pregame show in the world. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
6:00 tonight. We're on San Diego Sports 760.
We're going to head to the NBA. Unfortunate injury last night. Nikola Jokic out 4 weeks with a hyperextended knee. There's also LeBron's 41st birthday. Everyone can wish him a happy birthday today.
Is that a thing? Like people doing videos at midnight last night saying happy birthday to LeBron? I saw like 10 of them.
LeBron fans are
insane.
A unique group.
I saw like 10 videos come across my feed, and I don't know, because maybe I clicked on one of them. I think I shared one of them and said, is this really a thing? That then they just started populating my feed, but it's people waiting for midnight to wish LeBron a happy birthday. We've lost ourselves as a society, Sammy. We have lost ourselves.
Have you seen the LeBron R&B videos?
No.
Songs? We might have to play one later. It's fantastic. Anyway, though, Oklahoma City has certainly dominated through the regular season, last year in the postseason. Though we're looking at the teams in the Western Conference as of right now, after kind of a post-Christmas analysis. Lakers, LeBron turning 41, Jokic out for 4 weeks but should be back. Who do you view, if you had one team in the Western Conference as the biggest threat to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who would it be? Or are they going to mop anyone? It's not even close.
Is it kind of bad to say I don't think there is a threat to them as of right now?
It's fair.
As of right now, like maybe the Spurs, maybe if they can really get things moving in the right direction. Maybe the Warriors if they can stay healthy. Maybe the Lakers if LeBron looks as good as he has. Say it again.
I said if the Lakers play any defense,
right? But as of right now, no. I see OKC marching straight on through. Now the Spurs would be the one team who they have the talent at least to compete, but OKC is so deep. They have the superstars. Everyone's paid. Everyone's locked up for the next couple of years. As of right now, I don't see anyone who's competing with OKC.
Yeah, FedEx Trader said Spurs. The Spurs are the one team that they're 3-0 against them in the regular season so far. I think the depth of the guard play of the Spurs, having Vassell, Harper, De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, that's kind of the secret sauce of Oklahoma City, is that they're so deep that even when their starters go out, like they have constant scoring. That's where the Lakers lack is the Lakers can score with anyone, but the defense has not been up to snuff this season so far. And if they want a shot to compete, they got to go get 3-and-D defenders. The Nuggets are interesting. They took them to 7 games last year. I know Oklahoma City blew them out in the final game, but they kind of have that championship pedigree. I would go with Houston, though. Houston has the best rebounding team in the league.
Houston plays bully ball. I like Houston.
They're the best rebounding team since 1994 per metrics. They're fantastic on the boards. I mean, Amen Thompson's basically their point guard, and he's like 6'8". They're one of the tallest groups in the league. I think they, to your point, could kind of bully ball Oklahoma City a little bit, but what Oklahoma City and San Presti have built, they're not going away anytime soon, and there's a reason why they're almost even money to win a title this far out in the regular season.
How did OKC get the best general manager in basketball?
It's crazy.
How did OKC, Oklahoma City, end up with the best GM in basketball?
You would think that like Boston, New York, LA, Miami, one of these teams would have paid an enormous amount of money to get Sam Presti over there, but it's impressive what he's been able to do, considering that I don't think on the hierarchy of places guys want to go, you know what? You can go to Miami, Los Angeles, or New York. I'm going to go to Oklahoma City.
Whole family. Let's go, gang. We're going to go out to OKC, and we're just going to be happy little Thunder Nuggets. I don't get it, man. I really don't. All right, what's next?
We can save our NFL superlatives for the other side.
Love it. On the other side, it's San Diego Sports 760. Hey, we do have a pair of tickets to Aztecs basketball. They're taking on Boise State this Saturday at Viejas Arena. But that's coming up in just a little bit. On the other side, NFL Superlatives, brought to you by Sammy Long. How about that? San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. San Diego State's got a game tonight. You're going to hear it right here on San Diego Sports 760. They get going at 7 o'clock. I'll have pregame for you starting at 6. John Schaefer already up in San Jose. That's where he's doing the first 2 hours of his show today. He'll be on the call of the game starting at 7 o'clock. Big one for San Diego State. They all are now based on what happened in the non-conference. All right, Sammy, do you want to do one more big three or do you want to just jump straight into some superlatives?
We can do superlatives if that's cool with you.
Okay, let's jump
it's
right
basically
into
what we're doing. In text line, feel free to react 70470. Start your message with team. Let us know. I'm gonna say a statement, okay? And then we're gonna debate, Fletch and I, and then we want all you to chime in as well. Okay.
Where are we starting?
First superlative. Start, bench, cut. Second year quarterbacks. Drake May, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams for this postseason.
I like it a lot. Now, unfortunately, it does seem a little obvious, doesn't it?
I don't know.
There's the argument to be made. Well, you're cutting Bo Nix, and I don't even think that's a question mark at this point because Bo Nix ultimately is kind of doing the Peyton Manning thing with the Denver Broncos and sort of riding the defense into greatness, and we'll see how great he can be in the postseason. Drake May and Caleb Williams. We've seen some superstar performances for both of them this year. We've seen massive potential out of both of them. I am going to go starting Drake May and benching Caleb Williams for this reason and this reason only. Drake May makes all the throws. Caleb Williams makes amazing throws down the field, misses some intermediate routes that are kind of inexcusable at this point. And I think he still has a little bit of learning to do when it comes to reading defenses. He gets helped out a ton by the scheme of Ben Johnson and what they're doing in Chicago. And I'm very, very impressed with Caleb Williams. This is not an easy decision. I am going to start Drake May because Drake May is doing it with the defensive-minded head coach and Mike Vrabel. Caleb Williams is doing it with the offensive superstar.
So Caleb's bench and Bo's cut.
Bo's cut, Caleb's bench, Drake May starting.
Okay, Caleb's starting for me because I think of the upside, and Caleb's shown a lot to me the last month with him doing it with Rome Odunze in and out of the lineup. Luther Burden's been in and out of the lineup. There's been a lot of guys injured, and it's actually been impressed me how Caleb has played. I'm going to go with him. Now, I would take Drake May going forward.
The MVP?
I would give it to Stafford still. I think people are overreacting a little bit too much to last night, but that's just me personally. Drake May, here's my problem with Drake May. In this postseason, Stephon Diggs, if you ever see what happened, he's accused of strangulation, of a chef. There's a whole thing going on.
How bad was the food?
Okay. if we already
clip that one.
Okay.
It's a joke. I'm sorry. It's very serious. It's a very serious situation. We don't know what's going on.
Drake has the accuracy what Jay Silver's saying right now. My problem, though, is we were already concerned with the weapons for New England. And if you take Stephon Diggs away, we don't know what's going to happen. Kayshon Boutte's the only reliable guy.
He wasn't even playing last week. Is he back?
I mean, that's my thing. If they're out, I would go actually bench Bo Nix and cut Drake May. If I was going forward, I would want Drake May 100% over Bo Nix. But for this postseason, I think given the injuries to the receivers and the possible legal stuff, starting Caleb, benching Bo, cutting Drake May.
Yeah, but Drake May is still playing in the AFC. Caleb Williams has a way tougher path. I don't know. Let's move on to the next one.
All right. Agree or disagree? Aaron Rodgers going on a Cinderella run would be the best storyline in the NFL playoffs.
There's a world where I agree, but I am going to disagree. I think that the world is kind of tired of the Aaron Rodgers narrative. Now, a Mike Tomlin Cinderella run in the postseason, I'm here for, because for years it's been the Steelers are good enough to get there, but not get past anyone in the postseason. So for Mike Tomlin, I would say yes, but there's better storylines out there. Like imagine the Panthers go on a run and it's the Bryce Young return or rise to glory.
Story. Right. Okay.
Imagine it's Drake May who's revitalized the Patriots organization. Like there's better storylines out there than Aaron Rodgers who's like 60.
I'm going to agree with this. I think it would be a really interesting story because to go from Mike Tomlin going from he's going to be fired, keep going losing seasons or not, keep having winning seasons, but not winning in the postseason. In all the young quarterbacks, you got everyone talks about Josh Allen, Mahomes and Lamar and Burrow and Purdy, Hurts, all these guys. The statue quarterback has been on its way out, and Aaron Rodgers at 41 to lead a little bit of a run here, going from they would have to win Sunday against Baltimore with the lack of receivers. I think that would be a storyline. And then it would start talking about Aaron Rodgers' legacy. Where does he rank? That would be the biggest storyline in the NFL.
All right, we got to save it. Let's keep this rolling, though. I like these. And text us 70470. Start your message with team. We got like 10 more of these we can rip through here. NFL superlatives ahead of week 18 at San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is furnished by Genuine Aztecs on the road tonight, taking on San Jose State. That game gets going at 7 o'clock. Aztecs currently 11.5 point road favorites. Point total set at 142.5. Schaefer gets you going at 7 with the game. Fletch gets you going with the pregame starting at 6. And the Lakers are back tonight. Had a 3-game skid after Christmas, losing to the Houston Rockets. They beat the Sacramento Kings the other night, 125-101. Now they welcome one of the best teams in the NBA to Crypto in LA and the Detroit Pistons tonight. That game will be at 7:30 on NBC. Detroit is a 2.5-point road favorite in this one. This report is furnished by Genuine.
All right, quickly here, our buddy Rich jumping in on YouTube saying, I hate the Patriots, but I'm starting Drake May, I'm benching Caleb Williams, and I'm cutting Bo Nix. That was also my 3. And I do just want to make one more point about Caleb Williams. The Bears should have beaten the 49ers. I'm a big enough man to say that. I understand that. Caleb Williams missed 2 or 3 throws in the second half that are inexcusable short passing routes that he should have on a daily basis. It's those intermediate slant routes that every quarterback in the NFL needs for 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 4s. That Caleb Williams just has not perfected yet. Drake May's kind of been a master at those so far this year. I do think Caleb Williams will get there. I do think that he's going to be a force in the NFL. He's just not as of right now. All right, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2:00. Adam Rank is going to be joining us in the second hour of the show. Aztecs basketball tickets in the second hour of the show. Sammy, what's our next superlative?
Okay, so agree or disagree, Jalen Hurts is the least trustworthy quarterback in the NFC playoff field.
Ooh, NFC, yes, agree. Jalen Hurts is the least trustworthy quarterback. Now, I think the Eagles are a really good team, and I do see a window where the Eagles could end up making it, but you go through them, okay, Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford, Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams, Sam Darnold. Man, no, I can't.
It's a hard question.
I disagree. I'm putting Sam Darnold because of big game performances below Jalen Hurts, who's actually played really well in big games and Super Bowls in the past. And I'm probably putting Jordan Love below him as well because we haven't seen it from Jordan Love. And who knows if his brain's okay after that hit he took against Chicago.
I was going back and forth on this.
He can just do more than they can do. Like, he does still have the cheat code. The tush push is going to work in the postseason.
The problem is they haven't done it. That's what the Eagles' offense is certainly the least trustworthy unit in the postseason.
But Jalen Hurts has had years before where he's throwing for like less than 200 yards a game, and then all of a sudden he comes up with a 500-yard performance in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I can't put a guy that did win a Super Bowl last year, has been to 2 Super Bowls, played well in both of them, as the least trustworthy quarterback in the playoffs. Obviously, Caleb hasn't been there before. Darnold has had, to your point, some massive postseason struggles, even though I think that will change this year. I think Jordan Love was going to have one of the most pressure on him in the entire postseason until Micah got hurt. But still,
everyone got hurt. Top tight end, gone. Christian Watson banged up again. Micah Parsons, gone.
I just think, though, Jordan Love kind of got paid like you're going to be a top 5 quarterback. And Jordan Love's seen moments where he's looked like a guy like this could be the next superstar quarterback in the NFC, but he hasn't always been that. So I'm not going to say that. Jalen Hurts has been there before, and I do think there's something to be said for whoever's coming to Philly in the first round. You still got to go to the bank and beat them. And until they're out, until you KO the champ, when UFC and boxing, you got to take out the champ to do it. I think they're vulnerable, but I'm not ready to go that far yet. I would say no. Hurts is not the least trustworthy, but he certainly is not the most trustworthy.
Who's Philly going to play in the first round?
Right now, it's the Rams, which is probably not great for them. Now,
the Rams were the only team that got close to them last year. And the Rams are better this year than they were last year.
858 said least trustworthy NFC quarterbacks: Mayfield, Young, Darnold, Love, and Hurts.
Actually, do big game Baker's a thing. If Baker sneaks into the postseason, and it's going to take a Falcons loss and a Bucks win this weekend.
Yeah, it was really bad for the Bucks that the Falcons won last night.
Right. So if Baker gets in, though, Baker's a problem. I think there's no pressure on the Bucks to do anything in the postseason. But if he gets in, watch out.
In Young, no one expect young people.
He's already playing with house money.
Right. People are going to go, hey, this is a big year. You got your team in the postseason. We'll see what you can do next year. But yes, I'm with you. That grouping certainly has a lot of pressure. I would take Baker out of it, though. Okay, let's go to the NFC West. Darnold has more pressure on him than Brock Purdy and Matthew Stafford to perform in the postseason.
I'm going to disagree with that. This is year 1 with the Seattle Seahawks. They're still building something. That's the weird thing about Seattle is we all thought that this was going to be a little bit of a 2 or 3 year process with Pete Carroll leaving, with McDonald coming in, with Geno Smith into Sam Darnold. Like, we all thought this was going to be a little bit of a process. What we didn't realize was behind the scenes, they were rebuilding that defense. And now it's one of the younger, more impressive defenses in the league that may still be 1 year away. So next year, Sam Darnold, pressure's on. This year, you've gotten there. Congratulations. This was a huge season for the Seahawks. I don't think it's Super Bowl or bust this year. This is like the beginning of something new. When it comes to the Niners and the Rams, Sam Darnold or Matthew Stafford may be gone after this season. That's pressure. Brock Purdy, we've seen you get to the NFC Championship game. We've seen you play well in the postseason. We also saw you lose to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That's pressure because they've been there before. And now all of a sudden the Niners are putting up 45 plus points a game. It's like, okay, do that in the postseason. So no, Sam Darnold has the least pressure of those three.
It's hard because if you look, they all have pressure for different reasons. If you're talking about legacy, then it's certainly Stafford's the least, and it's Purdy or Darnold because they're proving themselves to be top tier quarterbacks in the league. Stafford has pressure of the time crunch in that how many years do you have left doing this, and is this your best shot to win one? Like let's look at the AFC side. Burrow and Mahomes aren't there. Lamar might not be there. The Bills look like they're kind of in shambles. They have to win 3 straight road games. Josh Allen's never won a road playoff game in his career. So like, you're probably
Is that true?
Yes.
Josh Allen has never won a road playoff game.
Never won a road playoff game in his career. It's a fact.
Is that breaking news to anybody else, or am I the only one? That's insane.
He's lost in Kansas City 3 times, and he's lost at home twice. Once to the Chiefs.
He hasn't
once
played
to the
that many road games in his playoff career, to be fair.
Well, he just ran up against KC all the time. But, I mean, it's a fact. It's a fact. But the thing is, if you look at Stafford, the chances are, outside of Josh Allen maybe, and maybe if Lamar goes on a Cinderella run, you're looking at playing a young quarterback on the AFC side. Is that going to be the case next year? Does anyone think that Mahomes, Lamar, and Burrow all might miss the postseason again next year? The chances of that happening are very, very slim. So Stafford's got a lot of pressure in terms of time crunch, but in Purdy, I would have said it would have been the last until we got the Fred Warner news. This is why I'm going with Brock Purdy, because Brock Purdy, the offense is humming, and I've been a Brock Purdy hater. I got to give Brock Purdy a lot of love. What he's done the last month or two, he's been carrying the team. He's been the catalyst for why the team is winning. It's not just been Bosa and Warner and Michael Williams, these guys game wrecking on the defensive end. But if Warner comes back and the young guys, the defense are playing well, Purdy's got a lot of pressure to prove that he's worth that contract he just signed. So I am going to go with Brock Purdy because of the Fred Warner news.
We'll take it. Brock can handle it. He's a big boy. What's next?
Agree or disagree? The Packers are the most forgotten about playoff team.
Agree. Like it was a few weeks. Everyone talked about the Lions as if they were a playoff team. No one's talked about the Packers, who are actually a playoff team. It's kind of crazy, but the Packers lost a bunch of people due to injury. And then Jordan Love misses a game. Has anyone noticed how good Malik Willis is playing? Like, he played really good in relief of Jordan Love. Now, is that a recipe to winning games in the postseason? I don't necessarily think so. They're still playing for their lives here, but I do think the Packers are completely forgotten about right now, and probably for good reason. Tucker Kraft was their best offensive weapon out for season with a torn ACL. Christian Watson seems like he goes about 5 or 6 plays and then he gets hurt. And when you look at Micah Parsons, obviously the biggest injury of all. So yeah, the Packers are the most forgotten about, but I think that's probably for the best because I don't think they're making it out of the first round.
Can I give you a team that's most forgotten about?
Tell me.
Jacksonville. No one wants to talk about, like, Jacksonville might have the best record of any team that no one is giving any respect to. Everyone's kind of like, when you talk about Jacksonville, they're like, yeah, it's a great story. Does anyone really believe their only Pro Bowler is their long snapper? It's the only Pro Bowler on the team, and yet they have, I believe, 12 wins. So they have an interesting amount of pressure in terms of, they don't have a lot of pressure because people aren't talking about them, but like Trevor Lawrence was the #1 overall pick. Trevor Lawrence, when they drafted him, was supposed to be in the Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar conversation. Like that's the kind of talent that Trevor Lawrence could be.
The most can't miss prospect since Andrew Luck was how he was dubbed.
Won at Clemson a title. He lost in the championship game the next year. I mean, this was, to your point, the most can't miss. There was nothing about him that you're like, yeah, I don't know if we would take him one. It was surefire. He was going #1 overall. I'm going to go with Jacksonville. I think the forgotten about is true with the Packers because of the injuries, but they were certainly a Super Bowl favorite before those. I'm going to roll with Jacksonville.
Here's the thing with Jacksonville. They have a little bit of what the Seahawks have, what I was talking about. Like, it's year 1 with Sam Darnold.
That's true.
It's year 1 with Liam Cohen. He's done an excellent job.
That's true.
He may win himself a coach of the year, but it's year 1 with Liam Cohen in the new system. So I've been making the joke for like 3 weeks now. What if we get a Jags-Bears Super Bowl? How disastrous would that be? It could happen. It could absolutely.
I think it'd be entertaining.
Happen.
I think people would sign up for the new teams.
So would I. All right.
Last one. Justin Herbert is the second best quarterback in the AFC, even if Lamar Jackson makes the playoffs.
True. Lamar Jackson is hampered. Lamar Jackson is a step slower than he has been. Without his speed, Justin Herbert's the better quarterback. Yeah, True. Agree. It goes Josh Allen, Justin Herbert on the AFC side.
Wow. Even with Lamar there.
Even with Lamar there. As of right now, today, yes.
Okay. Right now, today, I can hear that. I can hear because Justin Herbert, a month into the season, was in the MVP conversation. Now, a lot of guys were at that point. But in what he's been able to do getting his team in the postseason despite an abomination of an offensive line. I mean, that offensive line is terrible. Dude,
running for his life on a play-by-play basis.
Now, Lamar Jackson has also never been given a number one receiver. And I think like Ozzie Newsome, these guys in the front office for Baltimore, I can't believe that. Like, I get there's been a transition in the league from Mahomes and the Chiefs trade Tyreek Hill, and Josh Allen, the Bills trade Stephon Diggs. He's to Lamar's credit, he has never had a number one. I mean, hell, Joe Burrow has 2 superstar number ones at receiver. These guys,
Mark Andrews has been his best receiver for his whole career.
So when people kill Lamar passing, I'm like, I get it. Is he the same level passer as these other guys? I think it's more about the fact that he's such an elusive runner, but we've never seen him with a superstar receiver. It's always been scraps, always been DeAndre Hopkins, old veteran guys who aren't the same anymore. This season, I could hear with Herbert. Going forward, I would still take Lamar. I know the injuries have been piling up, but this season has kind of been a little bit lost for the Ravens in the amount of defensive injuries. I still think Lamar, if he's able to get in this postseason, there's not a lot of pressure on him, considering the team is left for dead, could cause some real damage. So I'm not ready to go that far. I would still have Lamar at 2 in the AFC over Justin Herbert.
Now, both of them have something in common. Both of them have kind of faded in the postseason.
Totally.
So I think we learn a lot about that exact question coming up here in a couple weeks if the Ravens get in over the Steelers.
And to your point about Herbert, we talk a lot about Lamar's failures in the postseason. We talk a lot about Josh Allen's failures in the postseason. All these guys, Herbert has evaded, and I get it. I think a lot of it was just because
he built the lead. Defense gave up the lead.
But no one talks about last year. Remember when he threw 4 interceptions,
sure,
more than his season total? He had 3 heading into the game. He threw 4 interceptions against Houston. So he lost the game against the Raiders 3 years ago when they were both trying to get in. Like, Herbert has not come up in the biggest moments. And I think a lot of that has been coaching, offensive line, not having a receivers last year. But at some point, Herbert, just like Josh Allen, has to win the big game, and we can't just keep making excuses for him because it's going to be somewhat down the road.
At some point, Sammy Long has to hit a lineup, and maybe that's today. Maybe today is the point.
I got a good one today.
Coming up on the other side, it's long shots. If you've been tailing with us, last night was a rough one, but we'll get it back tonight. Sammy's long shots coming up next at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760 and ABC brings you New Year's Rockin' Eve with epic performances from Diana Ross, Mariah Carey, Chappell Roan, Post Malone, and many, many more. Join Ryan Seacrest, and Rita Ora for the biggest party of the year. Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest live from Times Square tomorrow night, starting at 5 on ABC. New Year's Eve tomorrow night. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, it's kind of odd that it crept up on us like that.
I think I'm supposed to be doing something tomorrow night.
What's you going partying? What's up?
I think so. I don't really want to. I think I'd rather stay at home.
I thought you said you were going to be in bed by 9 o'clock.
I would love to be in bed by 9 o'clock. That sounds ideal.
Is this? Are you going like to a bar or a party or what are you doing?
I think it's a house party.
Oh, you have to sit there and talk to people.
Packers fans.
Oh.
Ugh.
I'm
Yep.
just kidding. If you're
That's
a
what I
Packers
was
fan,
thinking
sorry.
No, it's Packers fans, and they're grody. We all know that. All right, Sammy, long shots. Last night, Kirk Cousins just decided to hand the ball off, and Bijan Robinson ran for 93 yards on one play. I don't think that's all your fault.
Well, my NBA pick worked. Jordan Poole went off in the Garden. I was impressed with that, and then
Mr. Mump didn't do much for us.
Yeah, 2 catches for 10 yards was not very helpful. And if you would have told me that the Falcons had 27 points, I would have felt great about my Kirk Cousins over. Unfortunately, again, it was all Bijan
manager Kirk last night. Hand the ball off. You got something working. Also, the Rams' run defense yesterday, suspect at best. Now it's Bijan Robinson, so you give him a little bit of a slide, but suspect at best. In the playoffs, you need a run defense, especially in the NFC. We have some really good running backs. All right, Sammy, tonight we got time to make up for it, so let's go ahead and smash it.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money and you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance
Say that man, his man.
with long shots.
Can we get some freaking tennis tournaments to start in here, people?
Guys, listen, when the French Open, remember our French Open picks?
Oh, I remember.
I mean, the French Open, I think we really introduced the city of San Diego to, not that we introduced them to tennis, but really to the French Open. Like, I would have loved to seen TNT's ratings, because when we were gambling every day and there's just this random spike in the greater San Diego area in Orange County. That's what happens when you win.
Tennis. When's the next tournament?
I think it's one of the French Opens in May. The US Opens in September. Or no, it's in August.
We have months to wait.
No,
we're not going to win another long shot still tennis.
I believe the Australian Open is here in a couple months. Tennis heads, please text us 70470. Start your message with team. Hey, those Australian Open picks, guys, stay ready.
Tennis heads. We got. While you're giving your picks, I'm going to come up with a better name for tennis fans.
Okay, look that up. Look up right now while we're doing this. I want to know when the next.
Look it up on the Google of my brain, Sammy.
Okay, guys, we got a college football parlay tonight, as well as the heading to the association. All right, so we're gonna start with college football. Got 2 games on tonight. Some pretty decent bowl games for college football bowl games. We got Illinois playing Tennessee. We got USC playing TCU. We're going to start with Illinois, Tennessee. Luke Altmaier, quarterback for Illinois, less than 238.5 pass yards. Tennessee's been a pretty good story this year. They're a very solid defense. Some of the defensive numbers have been a little bit juiced because they played that tough SEC schedule. Now, a lot of guys in the portal and all that stuff, so I get it. But Altmaier has hit his under in 4 of the past 5 games. Illinois is really a run-first team at heart. They were able to expose USC earlier this year because the back end for USC was not very good. But Altmaier really is more of a traditional kind of hand the ball off, play action passer. I think less than 238.5 pass yards tonight for the Illinois quarterback. All right, it's at TCU, USC in the Alamo Bowl tonight. Tanook Hines, freshman receiver for USC, more than 80.5 receiving yards. Tonight, there's going to be no Jacoby Lane, no Mekhi Lemon. They are both going to be going to the NFL draft. Mekhi Lemon's expected to be a top 10 pick at receiver for USC. Jacoby Lane is supposed to go on the first day or two. So that really opens up Tanook Hines to really have a big game tonight. He had a huge game against Oregon, I believe, a little bit quieter against UCLA, but that was because they were able to run the ball. Mekhi Lemon and Jacoby Lane's last game. Tanook Hines broke into the rotation at receiver because he was such a good freshman. Now he's the number 1. So tonight, Maiva and company against that TCU defense. I think it's going to be high scoring down there in Texas and San Antonio. Tanook Hines, more than 80.5 receiving yards. All right, let's head to the association. So we got 2 primetime. We've had some listeners want the primetime NBA games. So we're able to kind of watch it if you're following along. If you don't have the NBA package. Memphis, Philly, the first of the slate. VJ Edgecombe, the battle in this game is everyone looks at John Morant and they got Tyrese Maxey. And then you got Jaren Jackson Jr. versus Joel Embiid. VJ Edgecombe has hit his under in the last 2 games, but before that, he was averaging almost 28 points per game. Memphis does not have anyone to stop him on the wings. I think Edgecombe has a big performance, more than 14.5, with Embiid and Jaren Jackson and them battling down low. Lakers, Detroit tonight. We're going to stay away from the guards. Detroit has been excellent from the guard spot. Detroit really overall has been one of the fun stories in the NBA. They've kind of built the team like Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City gets all the love, but a lot of developing their guys. Cade Cunningham, Ron Holland, acquiring Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren, and really building the roster inside out. But tonight we're going to go Lakers. DeAndre Ayton, more than 8.5 rebounds. No Austin Reeves. The Lakers got destroyed on the glass on Christmas, their last real big test against Houston. The Lakers have not shown up against the top-tier competition in the Western Conference, going 1-1 against the Spurs, 0-1 against Houston, and 0-1 against Oklahoma City. This is a real test for the Lakers against the top team in the Eastern Conference. I think they rebound well tonight. DeAndre Ayton's going to have a big game. More than 8.5 rebounds for DeAndre Ayton. So to recap, we got college football. We got Luke Altmaier, quarterback for Illinois, less than 238.5 pass yards. Wide receiver for USC, Tanook Hines, more than 80.5 receiving yards. VJ Edgecombe, star winger for Philadelphia, more than 14.5 points. DeAndre Ayton, more than 8.5 rebounds against the Pistons.
Rack Pack?
For tennis.
Rack Pack?
The Rack Pack? That's not bad. You know what I like that too? Is they all wear backpacks.
Sneak freaks?
That's only reserved for Carlos Alcaraz and
remember they all wear sneakers.
Sinner?
So sneak freaks, tennis sneakers, tennis shoes. I don't know. I was thinking a little bit.
We have our tennis people chiming in.
Yeah, Tateness on YouTube. I think that's how you say that name. Says tennis ballers. Not bad. Something with balls would be good. Yeah, balls. Because they always have
balls?
like the 2 balls stuffed up the like bottom part of their
I've
shorts.
always wondered that when they're in tennis and they're like diving for balls and then they have like 3 in their pocket.
It is amazing. Like the tennis boys and girls, they wear very short, whatever they're wearing on their legs, whether it's a skirt or shorts. Like they're very, very short, and they managed to fit like 3 or 4 tennis balls up there. It's kind of incredible. Doesn't leave much room for anything else.
Our tennis. Are you saying something about tennis players?
Never once. I would never disrespect tennis.
Tennis. We got to get Taylor.
Is it Tiafoe?
Francis.
That guy needs to be playing linebacker in the NFL.
Dude, Francis Tiafoe is my favorite tennis player.
The 49ers need Francis Tiafoe. They are weak in the linebacker.
Dude, and he's got his chain, the big foe, and whenever he hits one, he goes crazy.
That dude is like 275, 6'1", playing tennis. What a waste of what God gave you, Francis. Get on the gridiron. Leave the clay behind.
Dude, we gotta get Taylor Fritz on here. Taylor Fritz, the Rangers Santa Fe kid.
San Diego legend. He looks like a tennis player.
He does look like a tennis player. Like right. he was raised in a yacht club.
Yeah, probably the La Jolla one. Hour number 2 is coming up next. It's San Diego Sports 760. We got Adam Rank jumping on the show of the NFL Network. Yeah, the NFL Network, the Adam Rank, who actually predicted the final score of last night's game.
He did.
He predicted it on the nose, which was a tough game to do. Also in hour 2, Aztecs, Boise State coming up this Saturday night. We got a pair of tickets for you. All that still to come. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport's sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. San Diego State in San Jose, taking on San Jose State tonight at 7 o'clock. Aztecs are 11.5-point road favorites with the point total set at 142.5. Fletch will get you going on the pregame starting at 6 with Schaefer on the call starting at 7. And then USC TCU tonight in the Alamo Bowl. SC open at 6.5-point favorites, been bet down to 4.5. That'll get game will get going at 6 o'clock. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
Like you got a pair.
Not like other guys.
Where are we going in sports?
Monday night in the ATL.
Jared Verse with the caravan. He takes it back. The 8 strikes and the Rams have life. And here goes Bijan Robinson. 30, 35, 40, midfield. It's a foot race. Robinson 30, 15, 10, 5, house call. Are you serious?
As the NFL playoff picture continues to take shape.
Ball game is over in Atlanta. The Falcons 27 and the Rams 24.
The Aztecs are back on the court tonight to start Mountain West play versus San Jose State. And how do those picks work out?
Kirk Cousins more than 225.5 pass yards.
You're really good.
Kanata Mumpfield, receiver for the LA Rams, more than 23.5 receiving yards.
You just blew my mind.
Jordan Poole for the New Orleans Pelicans, more than 13.5 points.
Jesus Christ on a motorbike.
Why aren't you out playing in the traffic?
We look for relief inside the studios of San Diego Sports 760.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
Those goofy bastards are just about the best thing I've got going in this crazy world.
With the Fletch Zone.
Hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. Let's get it going here. Much like most days go, it's the randomness that takes over the text line and the YouTube chat, and that's what we appreciate. My name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. If it's your first time joining us today, thank you. Be here for a while. We're here all week.
Hell yeah.
Noon to 2 every single day. John Schaefer will take over right after we get off the air, and I do believe Mr. Jonathan Rifkin is going to get a little time today as well from 4 to 6 when Schaefer's getting ready for the basketball game. I'll be back with you for pregame starting at 6 o'clock tonight from here in San Diego. Schaefer already up in San Jose State. That game gets started at 7. All right, couple things here. First of all, I love all our listeners. Sammy, you know this. They're my favorite people on the planet.
They make us, they let us get to do what we want to do every day.
Except for Jeff. Jeff just DM'd me and said, oh, since you're at work, I'm assuming you didn't win the lottery. Yeah, Jeff, I did not win the lottery. Thanks for reminding me.
Jeff, the one thing, though, is maybe he did win the lottery and he doesn't want people to know.
Some lady in Arkansas won it. Congratulations. You stole my $1.7 billion.
I want to know the story of how that lady in Arkansas, like she just wandered into a 7-Eleven, grabbed a ticket. Maybe she was late on her way home. Like what
it's went? The stuff the dreams are made of, Sammy. That's what it is. She is living out the dream.
You know, they say it ruins your life.
It wouldn't ruin mine. There's no scenario, Sammy, where $1.7 billion could ruin my life. If it does, it's my own fault.
You know what the problem would be? Is we're friends, you and I, is that anytime you got a text from someone, you would be skeptic. You would think that I was coming for your money, or every time that someone came into your life after or before, you would be untrustworthy.
1.7, Sammy?
I have a question.
$1.7 billion.
If I won that kind of money, there'd be family members coming out of the woodwork and people I haven't talked to in years that'd be my best friend. And I think I would have someone set up a trust, and I would pay them a bunch of money to handle all inquiries, go through them.
They say the first thing to do is make sure you go to a non-related, no connection financial person to make a trust, like you're saying right now.
I would pay them huge money, and I would be like, listen, I would honestly just give my family a one-time check.
Yeah.
It would be like, here, if I want 1.7, like you guys, like extended family, you're going to get $200,000.
And then you that's it. Sammy.
Well, listen,
1.7.
This isn't a charity. Okay.
$200,000. You are the cheapest of the cheap.
No, because the rest is going to charity. This is not just handout season.
You're not giving anything to charity. All right, let's get to some of these tennis names. So what was the one I came up with? It was
what did you come up with?
The Rack Pack.
Okay, so by the way, if you weren't listening the last hour, we were talking about tennis names for tennis players. I don't know how we were talking about tennis.
You called them tennis heads, and I felt that was kind of offensive to the fans of tennis.
Tightness said felt fanatics.
Felties, that's not bad.
He said Felties as well. Jay Sills likes Felties.
Pretty sick YouTube name, Tightness. I like that.
I like that. Tightness Felties
says Racket Jacks is a better name for tennis dorks. Hey, tennis dorks is not very nice.
Don't be rude to people who like tennis.
Although that's another pretty good name. That's a pretty good name, Sammy. If we're being honest, there's something about Ball Busters that probably deserves to be in there. How about
Ball Busters is a little.
How about the servers of I don't know. There's something there. There's more. We'll get it. Keep those coming in.
You also have to determine whether they're playing on clay, whether they're playing on grass. What country are they in?
I just thought of another one I can't say on air, so I'm not gonna say it. See, that's called maturity. That's
called restraint, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, 760 says the disgust in Sammy's voice when he said, "Oh, you have to sit there and talk to people." I was dying laughing. Yes, I'm going to a New Year's party tomorrow night, and Sammy's biggest concern is that I have to sit there and talk with people. 858 says Tyler Shucks, defensive or offensive rookie of the year. Isn't Ted McMillan kind of had that locked up?
Yeah, Ted McMillan's had it locked up. But this is our Saints fan. Tyler Shucks, I got to give Tyler Shucks some love. He's been fantastic. Now, if I was a Saints fan, I'd be pissed off that now you're going to be drafting later in the top 10 versus at the top. But shout out to the team, Charlie Smythe and Tyler Shucks, who you drafted him to be a potential quarterback. He could be the quarterback moving forward in New Orleans.
615. What? You guys are back already? I thought you were on vacation until after New Year's. Missed you boys. Local sports talk radio sucks in the afternoon without you two on air.
615. We love you.
615, you just spoke all the right words. You are not a rack pack at all. No. You are a football fan. I can tell 615, and thank you for being here.
That's our guy,
love you to death. If you want to follow Sammy's tennis picks, you can. That's the only good thing about tennis is how good Sammy is at betting on tennis. All right.
People have DM'd me complaining that in long shots that I was having them get up at early at like 4 a.m. to watch the French Open.
I was pissed about it as well.
One time my friend was like, "Hey, let's go out to a bar." I was like, and then me and my other friends who are riding with this were like, "No, we're watching Wimbledon court 11. There's a night session of two guys I've never heard of." But he put a little action on it. Tennis is really, really appealing.
858, Tennis the Menace. That might be the winner. That's really good.
That's very good.
Different 858 number says net heads or fuzzballers. I like fuzzballers. Fuzzballers. Ding, ding, ding.
Netheads is kind of good too. I like that.
Fuzzballers is my winner as of right now. 70470. Start your message with team. Impress us more. YouTube chat at San Diego Sports 760. All right, Sammy, big three, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
Where would you like to start this hour, Sammy?
We're going to the NFL. So
I like it.
Raiders likely to have the number one pick.
Raiders Chiefs this weekend, huh?
The take-a-thon. It's literally like practice squad. I mean, these rosters, they're both trying to lose. But the Raiders looking for the number one pick. Apparently, per reports, though, the widely expected number one overall pick, Fernando Mendoza, quarterback from Indiana, was going to be the pick. But apparently, they have their eye on Dante Moore, the quarterback from Oregon. So, kind of a competition this week. Who's going to play better? Who's going to go farther in the college football playoff? Who, though, is able to improve their stock more? Mendoza, Moore, or we can even throw Ty Simpson in there from Alabama.
Now, we got a few years of film on Mendoza, right, from back in his Cal days.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for a while, and he's been one of those guys who's been tagged as an NFL-ready prospect from the beginning because he kind of has the body, he has the big arm. He's been growing mentally, reading defenses, and now he's with a big school. Might end up winning the national championship this year. We'll see. But I think Dante Moore is probably the guy who has the most room to grow. I would also caution everybody, Sammy included, myself included, do not believe a word anything is spoken about the NFL draft. If Mendoza was their guy earlier on, usually the most honest answer you get is the first one. They might be trying to throw out some other stuff in case maybe they don't end up with the number one pick. Maybe the Kansas City Chiefs are better at tanking than the Las Vegas Raiders, and somebody else ends up with the number one pick. And so they're trying to say, oh, Dante Moore is our guy. We love him. So somebody else takes Dante Moore and Mendoza falls to them.
Dante Moore has the ability, I think, to grow more in sense. Mendoza, he's just like a prototype quarterback. Apparently his processing's great. He's done it at a small school where he's not had the benefit of maybe having all the resources. Dante Moore, though, is very young. He's only started 1 year and has gotten better as the season goes along. It's a very interesting weekend, though, in the college football playoff in regards to the NFL, because you have potential 3 top 5 picks and quarterbacks in Ty Simpson, Mendoza, and Dante Moore. Ty Simpson and Mendoza are playing each other, and Dante Moore he beat James Madison, but that's James Madison. Now he gets a real test against the best front 7 in the country in Texas Tech. So it's the college football playoff, considering there's this many elite prospects in it this year, and from the quarterback perspective, there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on it to see who can improve. But I think Dante Moore has the ability to improve his stock the most. Okay, in the second year, speaking of the college football playoff, in the second year of the college football playoff, in your opinion, has it hit its target of, are you more engaged or less engaged with the playoff kind of now making bowl games? We both enjoy bowl games, but does it mean quite as much? Or do you think it has diluted the product and the playoff has not gained your interest?
Are you kidding me, Sammy? The Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl between Coastal and Louisiana Tech is the most fascinating electric football game I've ever watched in my life.
We've had it on the TV.
It's really riveting. I can't take my eyes off it. No, look, if I'm being honest, I like you do, Sammy, run with a group of guys who are very sports invested. We gamble on sports together. We watch sports together. We have group chats. We have phone calls during most Sunday night football games. Like we're very invested in sports. This college football playoff has kind of fallen flat for us, if I'm being completely honest. So far, there's time for that to grow. There absolutely is, but it's fallen flat so far to where I haven't cared about every moment as much. Now, and if I'm being honest about the bowl season, I cared a lot about San Diego State's game because, well, I'm on the broadcast and I've kind of followed that team all year and I really enjoy the storylines and I've become a fan of what they do at San Diego State. Would I have cared if I wasn't a fan? Probably not. And I think that's where college football bowl games have lost you. Back in the day, college football bowl season, sports fans are engaged in every single thing that happens.
Yeah.
Right now, it's bettors and fans of teams. And unfortunately, you're going to lose a lot of people if those are the only 2 targets you're going to get, because bettors have the NFL going on right now.
Right.
And the NFL is trying to stomp out college football. If you haven't noticed, they've taken over Saturdays.
So overall, I like the playoff. I like that there's more teams involved. I think from a betting perspective, from your point of view, there's more games to bet on versus just 4 teams, and maybe half those teams are from the SEC, the other one's Ohio State, and then it's some random team that doesn't really have a shot. I think it's more fun that you're going to see these top teams have to be tested more. But I think they have a little bit of a problem. We criticized, and I love the NBA, but the NBA Finals last year had a problem in that it was actually a great series, and then it went 7 games. There was too much time in between games, and people kept being like, oh, wait, the NBA Finals is back on tonight. There was like 3 days off in between games.
Is this a week and a half between game 1 and game 2?
Exactly. What should have happened is the college football playoff basically is right after championship weekend, and then this past weekend was this round of games coming up, or you back it up even more, and then you're playing the championship on New Year's Day or something like that. There's a little too much time off in between. I get the whole finals thing, all that, school, all that they, claim is the reason why. I think it lacks a little luster, while the NFL is just one after another. The NFL is always going to be king. I think bowl games are fun from the fact that you can bet on them and all this stuff, but the transfer portal has made it so some of these teams don't have a lot of their guys. And I'm excited for the college football playoff from a betting perspective. I'm just curious to see how it affects the NFL draft. But I get people who are like, yeah, I don't really have a team in it, don't really care. But,
Well, I mean, I think it's almost irrefutable now that the college football playoff is murdering and killing and taking out back and giving the old Yeller treatment to bowl games in general. I just think that that's a fact, because every bowl game you look at, a lot of them don't even have head coaches coaching. A lot of them don't have the biggest players playing.
The non-power 4 teams getting in to the college football playoff made the first 2 games last weekend or 2 weekends ago were great, with Miami and A&M and all all those games, in Alabama and Oklahoma. The other 2 were bad because they didn't even have a point. If you had put Texas in, or Vanderbilt, or one of these teams that Notre Dame had just missed it, I think you would have had more intriguing matchups. But
this is the first time I've actually thought that the college football playoff probably needs to be expanded, and maybe, just maybe, might be time for bowl games to start to go away. And that doesn't mean all of them. It means you got enough college football playoff games for most of the bowl games to get one, but some of them are pointless. All right, we got to take a break. On the other side, we'll get you ready for Aztecs basketball tonight against San Jose State. Adam Rank at 1:30. Aztec basketball tickets at some point between now and the time you hear from Adam Rank. That's a hint. That's a tease. That's a clue. They're coming up next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Got a little NFL Week 18 preview with Adam Rank of the NFL Network coming up at 1:30 today. Can't wait for that. But before we get there, tonight, San Diego State taking on San Jose State up in San Jose. It's been a tough place for the Aztecs to play over the years. Last year, escaping with a win, both at San Jose State and at Viejas Arena. Now this year, San Diego State, what was the spread, Sammy? You had it earlier.
11.5 point total set at 142.5.
Kind of hate that spread if I'm being honest, for San Diego State, but here's the deal. If San Diego State plays how we think they should, if San Diego State plays to their ability, that shouldn't be a problem for San Diego State. The problem is this year, it's been inconsistent. San Diego State's offense has actually been fantastic. They're up over 80 points a game averaging, which is crazy for a Brian Dutcher led team. But to this point, it's really been the fact that opposing teams are also scoring in the 80s against San Diego State. And that's very un-Brian Dutcher like. We expect the defense to get better as the season goes along. I expect that to start tonight against San Jose State. It's always been a tough place to play. Weird sight lines in that gym. All the different things you want to say. It's an old gym, but for San Diego State, the defense has to start kicking into high gear tonight. And then offensively, can Miles Bird, Reese Dixon Waters, and Magoon Guath get it all going? If they want to get to where they want to get to, which is another Sweet 16, hopefully into an Elite 8 or something, this team has the ability and the power to do it, but we haven't seen it yet.
And tonight's the first matchup against a not in the Players Era tournament of Arizona, where because they've outside of that they played a lot of teams that they're just talent wise much better than. They got 4 guys in double digits. They don't go super down the bench, but Colby Garland is the star for San Jose State. He averages almost 20 points a game, so he's kind of the go-to guy. To your point about the Brian Dutcher-led defense, I'm sure they're going to do a box and one, stick someone on the entire game, one of the best defenders on the team. But the Aztecs have the depth to get after these guys. But yeah, if you mess around, and I think we keep going back to it's a good problem to have that they have so much depth and they play 11 guys, but it does feel like it's almost hurting them a little bit because the guys that you're paying the big money to, the guys that are the quote stars of the team, haven't necessarily been playing like the biggest stars, and then the guys that are supposed to be kind of your bench supporting cast have been, i.e. BJ Davis, playing like one of the best, if not the best player on your team so far through this season. So again, we keep kind of going into lineups, who's closing games. Fletch, what you said earlier on in the show, I think was right about the big 3 in Miles Bird, Magoon Guath, and Reese Dixon Waters. Those are the 3 guys you got to look at and want to see really take over, because in terms of just looking around the Mountain West, those are 3 of the most talented guys in the Mountain West. They just haven't really played up to their standard so far this year. Hopefully it can start tonight in their second game of the Mountain West schedule.
Man, Mountain West is tricky. It is every single year. It's not like they have the most talented teams in the country, but they all know each other so well. The coaches have stuck around for a while. The coaches all know each other's tendencies, how they want to do things. And San Diego State's always a huge target for everybody in the Mountain West because they have been at the top alongside Utah State and Boise State and UNLV for years and years and years and years. So coming in tonight, San Jose State, absolutely dangerous. I would say outside of Michigan, Baylor, and Arizona, this is one of those games that I would be worried about on the schedule going to San Jose State. It's a tricky place to play, man. And for the Aztecs, I think they won there last year by 3 points, and it took a crazy comeback to do so. It's going to be a tricky one here tonight. So that's coming up tonight, 7:00. I'll be on pregame starting at 6. And we got a pair of tickets for San Diego State and Boise State, which is coming up this Saturday right now for you. So 877-767-4760. Sammy, you got a caller number for me?
Let's do caller number 12.
Caller number 12. I like that. I like that a lot.
Dose.
Caller number 12. You're going to San Diego State, Boise State this Saturday night. 877-767-4760. Or, of course, you can buy tickets at goaztecs.com. Adam Rank of the NFL Network coming up next at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Aztecs on the road in San Jose tonight, taking on San Jose State. That game will go in at 7 o'clock. Aztecs are 11.5-point favorites in that one. Schaefer will get you on the game starting at 7. Fletch gets you on the pregame starting at 6. And the Lakers are back tonight. They will be taking on the Detroit Pistons live from Crypto. Detroit is currently a 2.5-point road favorite. That game will get going at 7:30. And Trayvon Diggs, released by the Cowboys, has plenty of suitors for the star corner after he was denied permission to go visit his family in the Washington, D.C. area after their game against Washington on Christmas. The once-a-year sale and clearance is here. Upgrade today with Mattress Firm's quality selection of top brands. Let their sleep experts find the perfect bed to help transform your nights. They make sleep easy.
San Diego State hoops on the road tonight. They got San Jose State. Our pregame coverage gets going at 6. John Schaefer is going to have the call just after 7 right here on your home for the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. How about our buddy Kyle winning those tickets to go see San Diego State this Saturday night?
Oh, yeah, Kyle.
Against Boise State. Going to be a good one. I will be there. I'm actually bringing the Fletcher family out to that Boise State, San Diego State game on Saturday night. So looking forward to that. With the parents in town. But a very happy New Year's to everybody. My name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. If it's your first time joining us, we're trying to add to this little family heading into 2026. So jump on now because we got some big plans for next year. Would love for you to be a part of it. All right, Adam Rank of the NFL Network is going to be joining us. Now, I've known Adam for years. Adam is a fan of a lot of things here in San Diego. He's also a fan of the Chicago Bears. Now, I promise you, I did not mean to book this interview purely because the Niners beat the Bears over the weekend, but I promise you we will get into that with Adam Rank, who is a Bears super fan. But he's also a host on the NFL Network and does a great job covering the NFL. You can find him at Adam Rank on social media. One of the better ones doing it today. Adam, what's going on, man? We'll wait a little bit till we talk about Sunday Night Football.
Oh, no, we're all good. It's all, it's shaping up to be a really good end of the season. Got some cool games. I'm glad we didn't put the good one on Sunday Night Football. Going Steelers, Ravens. Listen, I'm no television executive, but I would have much rather have seen the 49ers or something like that. But you know what? Can't be greedy this time of the year, so we're ready to roll.
Okay, I'm glad you took it there. I was talking about this past Sunday Night Football game between the Niners and the Bears, but I agree wholeheartedly with you, Adam. And my guy Sammy over here was like kind of shaming me for that yesterday, saying no one cares about the Niners and Seahawks.
I say no one cares. I said it's one of the biggest rivalries, Steelers-Ravens in sports.
Sure, but the game means
nobody
less.
Cares
we can be honest about that.
That's like Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan. Like years ago, maybe it was compelling. Maybe people really loved it. Like, yeah, like you love it. Like, you like old school stuff. But you know what, though? The football has passed those two teams by. They're just like, they're like legends. Like, if they came out in the Royal Rumble, you would be able to be like, oh, here come the Steelers. Here come the Ravens. Nobody really takes them seriously as a contender. Although I guess the Ravens were at the beginning of the year. But now with questions about Lamar Jackson and everything going on, it really has kind of lost its luster over the years. So I guess we're going to do it. Maybe it's Aaron Rodgers' last game. Who knows? But, it's football. It'll be on Sunday night. We'll be watching it. But at the same time, not the matchup I would have picked. I'm with you, Ben.
We've had some classics between the Niners and the Seahawks, especially the final week of the season. That Dre Greenlaw hit at the 1-yard line go down in history. But anyways, Adam, let's talk about this past Sunday night. Bears, Niners, two teams who are contenders for the Super Bowl right now, even though we may not have thought that coming into the year. But what did you think about that game? I know you're a huge Bears fan, so you probably weren't stoked with the end of it, but that might have been the best game of the year in the NFL.
Yeah, that was one. First of all, I was expecting the Bears to be contenders this season, but that's just me. That's just the way that I roll. Listen, it's one of those things that, and to borrow a line from Ted Lasso, the Bears might have lost, but they definitely succeeded, because I believe that in a season where people have kind of discounted all of their wins, whether it's beating the Browns or the Vikings or the Packers or whomever, nobody was really ready to take the Bears seriously until they stood there toe-to-toe, trading blows with the 49ers, a team that is still competing for the number 1 overall seed. And I think people kind of took aim to it and were like, oh, yeah, this Bears team is pretty good. And I think perhaps that if there were still people who were not quite sure about the development of Caleb Williams, that kind of put it to question. I put it to rest. The only ones who I believe are not like fully invested in Caleb are the announcers. Like Caleb sits there and drops all these dimes, and they're like, yeah, but let's talk about these 2 passes he didn't make. It's like, oh, enough. Like nobody gets the scrutiny. I've never watched a player who is expected to be 100% more often than Caleb Williams. Like there's no one like Josh Allen, like misses a wide open receiver to win a game, and like the Fox crew spends 30 minutes making apologies for him. Like it's just one of those things. But I'm disappointed the Bears didn't win, but still feel pretty good about their chances moving on.
Adam, I'm so happy you said that because I've been explaining that to Ben for the last 6 months now. But he's the guy that makes excuses for the dropped passes.
He's not great 5 yards and in. We can be honest about Caleb Williams.
Oh, he's not great. I don't even know what that means. Like, okay, that's fine. Okay, sure. Whatever metric that means, that's fine. But he was out there dropping dimes. I really love the fact that they duped the 49ers into giving them a free play, and they took advantage of it. That's something. I know he did it against Pittsburgh too, but it's been one of those things that I've been waiting for him to go out there and really take advantage of.
Adam, so you mentioned it about Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills. That game, Bills losing to the Eagles on the 2-point conversion. Where do you see both teams? Like you have the Eagles in the NFC who's going to host playoff games, but do you see them as a real threat to get back to the Super Bowl? And what about the Bills on the AFC side?
I do. I think the Eagles are still lurking because they got a formula that travels in the playoffs. They play well defensively. They can run the football. I think that Jalen Hurts, again, I guess Jalen Hurts also goes into that category too, where much like Caleb, like nothing is ever going to be good enough. That guy's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won one, could have been the MVP of another, and it's still not enough. And it's always crazy to me. And it's always crazy to me. Sorry, there's something going on with the Arsenal match right now. But it's always crazy to me. Like there's not like he's never given it enough credit for what he's been able to do. I think it's a very dangerous team, and I really believe like this is one of the reasons why this weekend, why the Bears the Lions game means so much. Because if you get that number 2 seed, you're guaranteed 2 home playoff games, assuming you win the first round, the wild card round. That's why you want to go out there and get that number 2 seed, because you guarantee yourself 2 home games if you make it that far. And with how well the NFC West teams play against each other, there's a real opportunity for an upset. So you could end up hosting all the way through the playoffs. So I think this is going to be huge. And I think Philadelphia is definitely dangerous.
What's going on with Arsenal? Everything okay?
No, we're good. We're up 2-0 right now against Aston Villa. Anytime, like there's like I know that Tottenham's the traditional rival of Arsenal, but I really don't like Aston Villa more than anybody. Obviously, because of Emery, Martinez, those 2 jokers. Well, I mean, we fired Emery. That was our fault. But like Martinez popping off on his way out of town a couple of years ago. So to see him get victimized twice here in the second half has been pretty satisfying.
Tell you what, Adam Rank of the NFL Network is a man of many talents. He calls college basketball games for Fullerton alongside Jonathan Rifkin, actually. He is I had no idea, but a diehard Arsenal fan. He's on the NFL Network. He is a Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim diehard fan. You got a lot going on, Adam.
Hey, I don't like the way that you said that. I don't know why the San Diego people always want to come at the Angels. Like, what did we do? We don't like the Dodgers as much as you do. Like, we should be brethren on this. But every time the San Diego fans always want to take pot. Like, you make me root for the Giants.
I said no, I just called them by their name, Adam. That's all I did. It's the people who gave Shohei Ohtani to the Dodgers.
When you go full government name, that's a little much. It's like if I call my son, use his middle name, like that's a lot. So they're wrong.
All right. Well, Adam Rank, NFL Network, not a fan of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. When it comes to the Steelers and the Ravens, who is our Sunday night football game, which one of those teams you think does more damage in the postseason if they get in?
I would say the Ravens. I like their running attack more. It's incredible to me that Derrick Henry is like, what is he, 85 years old? still running the way that he is. You know, like the way he ran through the Packers the other day was pretty impressive, especially when like, listen, you're not gearing up to stop Snoop Huntley. No disrespect to the former Pro Bowler, but at the same time, like Derrick Henry, you knew who was getting the ball, and you were unable to stop it. So for me, I think that they could be a real problem for people when they get into the playoffs. But the team that I'm really looking for to be a serious threat is the Houston Texans, and if they can figure out what their quarterback situation. I mean, it's C.J. Stroud. It's not like you're benching him or anything, but if C.J. Stroud can raise to another level and get there, then I think that he's got a real opportunity. Although C.J. Stroud has never been the same quarterback ever since he tried to son Caleb Williams after a Sunday night game 2 years ago, where he's up there patting him on the shoulder and be like, "Oh, you're okay." Like, who are you, C.J. Stroud? Like, you've been in this league for 18 games. Like, leave Caleb alone. But if he can get it going, and I like what I've seen out of Woody Marks so far too, taking advantage of the running attack, I think Houston could be a real problem in the AFC.
It's kind of felt like all season long the Rams were the favorite to win everything. Obviously, they lose last night. Do you think that was kind of just a blip, or like who do you see as should be the favorite if you had to pick one for the Super Bowl right now?
Yeah, there's clearly nobody in the NFC who is dominated to the point to where you're like, "Yep, this is the team. They're automatically going." I guess it's just who gets hot at the right time. And I think one of the things I liked about the Bears and the 49ers the other night, like everybody was talking about the defenses. The defenses weren't great. Arsenal scored again. Leandro Trossard.
Adam, focus.
I can't help it. Leandro Trossard. It's one of my daughter's favorite players. The super sub himself. What a day. Listen, Arsenal the other day, it was so frustrating watching them because actually for the last couple of weeks, where a lot of their offense has come from like creating own goals. Like own goals don't happen without you creating something. So that's been what they've been doing. And even Anne Hathaway was joking about it on Twitter, saying like the own goal is our best offensive player over the last couple of weeks. So to see Arsenal just come to life against Aston Villa, a team that is victimized, it's kind of like if you were playing against a coach that you fired, like Belichick going up against the Jets or something like that, like somebody that you fight, like somebody who's been a pain, a thorn in your side, and you're able to go out there and defeat them, and especially when things aren't going well. And I guess that it leads itself to like one of these teams like the Rams where, you know, things could be going bad for a couple of weeks, but there's something about the Rams that, and I know that it's looked bad and Matthew Stafford might have bottled an opportunity to be the MVP this season, but they really could go on a run. And I think that, you know, with Devontae Adams coming back, that the defense makes enough big plays. I think that despite the fact that they looked horrific for most of Monday night, they still have the ability to go out there and be one of the best teams in the league. And I would not count them out at all.
That was kind of beautifully done, Adam. You just blended your Arsenal take along with the NFL with the Rams game from last night. It's like someone should pay you to be doing this. Well done, sir.
It's what I do. It is, you know, like you said, I try to be a man of multi talents. And when you sit there too, and you're like, oh, he calls the basketball games. Jonathan calls the games. I'm the color analyst. People are shocked to find out. They're like, you didn't play college basketball. And I'm like, well, Daniel Jeremiah didn't play in the NFL.
It's a great point.
He's the Chargers color analyst. Nobody gets upset about that. So leave me alone. Why is this guy driving on the green, by the way?
I have no idea. I'm not
being
watching
distracted all
game.
over the place.
All right, Adam, you have a great day, man. Appreciate the hell out of you, and good luck to your Chicago Bears. I hope the Niners and the Bears face each other again in the postseason because I think it'd be a fun matchup once again.
I think that's what everybody wants, and I think that's what everybody wants to see. So hopefully we can have that going. But Fletch, always appreciate the opportunity to come down and to be on the air with you. Love it and really appreciate you.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon, man. And I'll see if maybe JD Wicker can invite you to one of these Aztec games at Viejas and we could sit down and have a couple beers.
Dude, I would love that. Make it happen.
We'll make it happen. Adam Rank of the NFL Network. Follow him online at Adam Rank. One of the best doing it these days. It's San Diego Sports 760. Take a quick break. We will wrap this thing up. Coming up next, it's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you for a final time today. John Schaefer is coming up next, live from San Jose as he gets ready for San Diego State, taking on San Jose State. A little bit later tonight, that game will tip off at 7 o'clock right here on San Diego Sports 760. I'll have pregame for you starting at 6. A couple YouTube comments we got to catch up on. Our buddy Rich jumping in saying Saturday is a later 7 o'clock start for the Aztecs. I don't expect much in the student section. Come on, Sammy was a part of the show.
Hell yeah,
the show shows up, Rich.
Yeah, they'll be there. It's Saturday night. People going out after. It'll be a good time.
Students like to party though. Tateness on YouTube says, if I don't get to watch the game, none of you do. You're all coming with the San Diego State game with me, Fletch.
Hey,
family.
wait. So I'm doing pregame with you.
Yes.
Your whole family's going to be there.
Correct.
So I get to meet the Fletcher family.
You get to meet Mama and Papa Fletch. How about it, Sammy?
I'm so excited.
Have you never met them before?
No, I don't think so. I mean, when I was a kid, maybe because I used to just hang around the station.
Correct. They've been by here a lot, but I don't know if you ever have met them.
I got to meet Big Bro as well.
I don't know the Big Bro's coming. He's coaching. But Mama and Papa Fletch will be here. Let's see. And then we got one more here. Josh, not homeboy saying Ashton Villa. No, Aston Villa. I don't know much about Premier League soccer. I apologize.
Thank you, Josh, for correcting, because I wouldn't have caught that.
Idiot.
I feel pretty well versed on sports, but if you listen, FIFA, I go crazy with Tottenham, but that's about my extent of knowledge for Premier League soccer.
It is crazy that Adam has the mental capacity for all the sports, because he is obviously he gets paid to cover the NFL. He works on the NFL Network, but then as a hobby, he's a big time soccer guy. Who knew?
That's cool. I've actually had success betting the Premier League, not knowing anything, just wanting something to bet.
You know what my brother has started doing? He started asking AI to build him out like soccer lineups on betting websites.
Do they hit?
Yeah, because there's so many of them going on. You could pick, probably not Premier League, because the books are pretty good on the Premier League. But if you get into some of the lower levels of European soccer, or I don't know, the random ones, like the ones that the Ryan Reynolds and Mac from Always Sunny.
Oh yeah, Wrexham.
Yeah, if you go down the list a little bit, you can find some pretty user-friendly edges in betting soccer overseas. And
we're squad riding America in the World Cup later this year.
We're probably gonna lose. Man, I hope Team USA does well. I really do. I hope Christian Pulisic becomes a national hero and is awesome. I just don't know.
Did you
know enough?
Real quick, the books were super liable when the US beat Iran a couple years, or in the last
World Cup.
Excuse me. That because 92% of the bets, because there were all people wanting to pull for America, was on America, so they were thinking that Iran was gonna tie them or draw them or whatever, and they ended up winning. So the books actually had to pay out a ton of money because all the home fans bet on America. Very patriotic moment. Let's do it again. Proud moment of our country.
USA, baby, back-to-back World War champs. Let's get it. All right,
that's how we're ending the show today.
We're out of here. John Schaefer up next, and I'll be back with you at 6 o'clock tonight. Maybe. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.